My name is Nathan Quarry. I go by the fight name Nate Rock Quarry, and I'm the creator of Zombie Cage Fighter. The whole way Zombie Cage Fighter started to come to life was I'm a fighter for the UFC, and the UFC put together a video game taking all the fighters and putting them in there, and they had me get all my sponsors to sign up, told me I was going to be in the game, and then when the game came out, I wasn't in it. Well, a friend of mine owns Valve Software, who does games such as Left 4 Dead, Left 4 Dead 2. Right at the time, he was coming out with Left 4 Dead 2. So he talked to me and he said to correct that mistake that the UFC had made intentionally, he was going to shoot me as a zombie and put me in Left 4 Dead 2. So I called my agent. I said, I'm going to be in this really cool video game. We should launch this on G4. So I go down to G4. We launch the video game, and the person interviewing me asked me, well, what are you working on now? And I said, well, right now I'm working on Zombie Cage Fighter. And the rules are pretty simple. For humans, no biting. For zombies, mostly biting. And at the end of the segment, the producer came out and he just said, that's a brilliant idea. I want to see everything you've got on it. And I looked him right in the eye and I shook his hand and I said, well, let me go home and get all my stuff. I'll come back down and make you a pitch and we'll see where it goes from there. Because I didn't have anything. So I flew home, I got a 6-pack of beer and I sat at the computer and just started typing. And I knew where I wanted to take the story. I'd been thinking about it for a while, kind of writing down a few ideas here and there. And I had my beginning, I had my end, I just had to fill in the pieces. So after 6 or 7 hours, I had about 16 pages written out. And then I just started showing them off to people, getting their opinion. They gave me some feedback, and I just kept expanding the story till I had really a full story. Then I did a photo shoot with me as a zombie, fully dressed up, blood and guts hanging out. Flew back down to LA, pitched them the story, and they just said, this is amazing. We want to do this. And so from there, I just kept going and going. I took my 22 pages, turned that into a full screenplay, and I decided, you know what, I'm going to start making t-shirts. And for me, it was just more of, this is cool to me. This is what I enjoy doing. And my first artist was the original Town and Country surf artist, TNC Surf, from the 1980s when I was a kid. And I was never as cool as when I was 13 years old wearing a TNC shirt with a surfing gorilla on the back. So I contact this artist, I tell him what a fan I am of his, and he sends me one of his shirts. I send him one of my fight shirts. I said, what's it going to take to get you to draw me a Zombie Cage Fighter shirt? So I had my childhood artistic hero drawing my first shirt, and I just kept going from there. I kept finding really great artists and just kept building the line. And then I always wanted to move towards a comic book because to me, especially with Hollywood types, they're not creative, they're not visual. You hand them a screenplay, they're not going to know what to do with it. So I wanted to take my story and put it into a comic book form so I could at least show them, well, visually, this is what it would look like. So I had an artist sketch me up 3 pages, and we were going to build from there. Well, a year later, I'm ready to pull the trigger. I said, all right, let's go. Well, he triples his price on me. And I said, well, I can't drop $7,000 just on the inks for my comic. So I called Kubert School, the #1 comic book school in North America, as far as I'm concerned. And they put a word out to all their graduates. And one of the guys contacted me. He said, it is my destiny for me to draw this book. I saw you fight live in Oklahoma City, and I can do this. So I looked at his website, and I said, you know what, you're a little too cartoony for me. I need something a little bit more gory, a little bit more realistic. And he started sketching little shots and sending them to me, and I could see he could convey the emotion of the story. Because the story itself, it's not really about zombies. It's not even about fighting. It's not about MMA. It's based on my life. It's the things that I've gone through in my fighting career, but the basis for my whole career has been feeding my little girl, making sure that she has a better life than I've had. And I've been able to take her for the first house that she was born into. The front door was kicked in twice in the first month, and the place was ransacked. Now we live in Lake Oswego. She gets to ride horses. She goes to the best school in the state. Fighting has really given me everything. Somehow everything in my life has come directly or indirectly through fighting, and that's the story that I wanted to tell, the story of a father trying to give his daughter a better life than he's had.